Guess what? There are tea companies sprouting up all over the place, little teeny tiny ones. And we found that one that wasn't especially tiny, that actually is sort of fostering other people's tea companies. They're actually cooperating with teeny tiny tea growers to get some tea to grow. This place is called Table Reck Tea Company, and it is in Pickens, South Carolina, about an hour's drive from us. So we went to see it. We're going to put in some footage here of our interview with the owner. Very interesting and very knowledgeable. So we got some tea from him. One tea that we got, Silk Road, which I guess is made of corn silks.
It is.
And he said it tasted like corn pops. We gave that to Emma's grandmother.
My grandmother is Emmy.
We'll try to get her out here to try that. And we got this one, Happy Tract. It's supposed to make your guts feel good. We'll have Emma's father try that one.
This one, Hillbilly.
This is Yapon. So we'll try that one at some point.
And finally, we have Bear Claw, which we were actually able to smell while it was being baked.
Oh my goodness, it smelled like a bear claw.
This right here smells like vanilla ice cream.
Mmm, smells good. A bear actually sat on the plant, and so they named it Bear Claw, and it also, in its loose leaf form, resembles bear claws.
We got to see that too.
But when
it was awesome.
When it's in their drying machine, it actually smells like baked goods, like those bear claw donuts. She wants water.
Water.
So this is an oolong, but it tends toward black.
Dark oolong.
Dark oolong. So you brew it at 185 degrees Fahrenheit.
They also had a Lapsang Souchong that was American grown, but we have way too many Lapsang Souchongs.
We have a lot of smoked tea already, so we didn't get that one. I'm sure we'll be back. They do tours. We didn't get in on the tour this time because we were too late in the day.
But normally his wife does the tours, and he was the only one there.
Worked out nicely.
So we got an interview.
So he gave us a lot of insider information, and we're going to share some of that with you. We're going to brew this for 3 to 5 minutes while you watch us do an interview. We thought there were only 2 places where you could actually get tea made in the United States, but we were wrong. This is in Pickens, South Carolina, which is about an hour away from where we live, and this is Steve Lorch.
Hello.
He makes tea in the mountains of South Carolina.
We picked up from a little village in China.
Wow.
So it's an old 150-year-old roller. You know, so we'll basically be able to explain the whole process over there. So all the tourism will end up over that side. But then people can see the whole process. But on all these old equipment, I mean, I got an old matcha mill, you know, old stone matcha machine, just some really cool stuff. The cabinet doors for our storage are made out of panels from tea crates from Lipton from the 1950s, from all over the world, Kenya and China and India and all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be a really cool museum. It's a neat space. So.
When did you first start working with tea?
So we started working with tea back in 2006. So my wife and I are the founders of a missions agency called Hydro Missions International. So it does water projects all over the world, water wells, latrines, things like that. And we ran that for about 10 years and handed it off 10 years ago. So you can still look that up, hydromissions.org. And it took us to 30 countries. One of those was Kenya in 2006. And we did a water well project for an elementary school in tea country in Kenya. And so, yeah, that's when we first were introduced to tea. And then I bought a little tea plant online. We were living outside of Greenville, South Carolina, a place called Malden, if you know that place. Bought a little plant online, stuck it in the ground, and it grew and didn't think anything of it. And then we came out here, bought our farm, and we wanted to do an ornamental hedgerow that was productive. So we said, why don't we do tea? At that time, you really couldn't pick up the phone and call anybody. They didn't have a book like I just published on how to grow and make it. But we figured it out, and we figured that we needed about 400 or 500 plants. And so then we started thinking, well, that makes a lot of tea. Why don't we just start a tea company? So we did. Yeah, so I'm a surgical nurse. Lost track of So yeah, and before that I was in plant science at Virginia Tech before I went on to Bloomsburg to get my nursing degree. So I have a Bachelor of Science in Nursing. A lot of medical missions. I'm hopefully getting out of it this year after 33 years.
Wonderful. That'll feel great.
Yeah. It's not really retirement. It's just I'm needed here. There's so much work to be done here on the farm. So. Yeah.
And what is this thing behind you?
Yeah, so this is a tea roller, heavily modified tea roller. This is the smallest one you can get. It's only 25 centimeters, but we actually have one where the hopper is 65 centimeters and it weighs 2,200 pounds. But this is just for really small batch and experimental stuff. So what this does is, you know, in tea, you wither it, and then if you're going to make a black tea, you're going to beat it up in a roller to start the juices and enzymes turning to oxidation and starting that process. So this is what does that. So you pack the tea, there's a pressure plate that pushes on it, it spins around, it bumps over these bumps and bruises the tea. So that's how that works. So.
And then this one.
Yeah, that's a sifter. This is the Franken Sifter. I actually made this, so I took about 3 different machines. Anything you see that's this square steel tubing, I welded all that stuff. So this whole frame was modified. This is that. So you would this is where you would separate out your fines and stuff like that, or if you want to do loose leaf versus bagged kind of separation. It's got a motor underneath, and it's just you fill the tea in here, and there's a screen here, and so whatever's small enough to fall through the screen goes out this tube, and whatever stays on top goes out that tube, and then you have your particle separation. So tours are Thursday through Sunday at 10 and 2, and Thursday through Saturday at 10 and 2, and Sunday at 2. My favorite is probably the bear claw. That's our homegrown. Like I said, we call it a dark oolong, but that's a misnomer. It's not really an oolong, so don't jump on me, the tea snobs, for saying that, but it's not quite a black tea either, so it's somewhere in between. But I like that. The reality is we sell out of all of our tea every year. So it's hard to say what's the best seller because they all sell. Yep, you can get it on the website.
Anywhere else?
A few local stores, but not yet. Right now we actually sell out online and on tours.
Okay.
And so that's very important for us to have tea when people come out on a tour. Because there's nothing worse than going on a tour and not being able to buy some tea.
Now he let us sniff the bear claw, and it definitely has a bakery smell to it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's named after the fact that it looks like the claws of a black bear.
Yes. Doesn't taste like a bear claw honey bun or something like that. And so truth be known, our first plant that we ever bought, that one that I bought after we came back from Kenya, is right outside that door. And if you look closely, you'll see that the middle has been squashed because a bear actually sat in it and squashed the center. And that's how we ended up coming up with the name for bear claw. So I said, okay, we have bears here, and there you go. So.
And you said your teas are actually the Assam variety of
Yes.
Camellia sinensis rather than the usual sinensis variety.
Correct. Yeah, and that was just trial and error. You know, I mean, we started out in 2006, and that was when internet was young, and couldn't find a lot of information, and so we just found whatever tea plant we could, and then started growing from seed, and it turned out that we were growing Assamica is what we were doing.
And you sell those
Yes.
seeds.
Yeah, so we actually are a licensed nursery. We sell thousands of plants and seeds a year, for sure. Best time to buy seeds is going to be between October and January, November and January. We always tell people if you buy seeds anytime out of that window, they're selling you lousy seeds. So don't buy them. We won't sell them after January. Plants you can sell pretty much all year round. Best time to plant is March, April, and then second best is October. You know, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you have a YouTube channel.
We do.
And
Yep.
what's it called?
Table Reck Tea Company.
Table Reck Tea Company. We'll put a link for you there so that you can go over and see Steve's channel
Yeah.
because I'm sure it's informative.
There's a lot of stuff. There's everything from how to plant, how to grow, how to process. There are product reviews because we use a lot of equipment here on the farm, so things that we like, things that we don't like. I've got an extensive library for herbal medicine and tea, and so I go through book reviews a lot of times. We'll do some of the videos are business related because that's part of it too, right? We always tell tea farmers it's one thing to grow tea, it's another to make tea, and it's another to sell tea. And if you're not doing all three, you're not going to make it. So those are all things that we talk about on the channel. So I think we've got about 125 videos on there right now. So
Great.
and they're short. I don't do a lot of the fluff and spam stuff. So so they're short and to the point. So.
Well, thank you very much for being on here. This is a very impromptu interview. We just showed up and he said we could interview him. So we're going to buy some of his tea, and there'll be a little more to this video because we'll drink it at home. And I hope you'll watch that video and see how your tea did.
Yeah, and we'll put a link as well.
And hopefully he is watching this video. So thanks for the personalized tour there.
I'm wearing my father's shirt.
So Emma's father decided that this shirt had shrunk too much. So she's wearing it today. She's going to fix it up, shorten it, put some elastic at the bottom.
I'm going to take the bottom part of it off and make a head thing.
Like a headband? Mm-hmm. Well, that'll be colorful.
And it'll match.
All right, so this is an oolong. So it's that medium color, halfway between a green tea and a black tea because it's about halfway processed, so to speak.
You want me to go ahead and take yours out?
Sure.
They do have a website, I believe. It is www.tablerecktea.com.
Oh, that smells so nice. More black than oolong, just like you said. Yeah, sort of. Oolong is fruity to me, and this is like a fruity black tea.
It definitely has a baked undertone to it, though.
Definitely. I can get the baked, toasty, almost caramelized.
Hang on.
Not almost caramelized. You gonna get some cream for me?
Cream.
Oh yes, must have cream.
He actually told us it doesn't taste good with cream. So.
It should because it's a little bit sweet. Fabulous. In this case, the cream truly augments. Sometimes the cream just makes it richer and changes it. This one, it just kind of adds more of what it already had. So definitely cream with this one. So next time you're in the mountains of South Carolina, make sure you stop by Pickens and see this American-grown tea plantation.
And if you live within an hour of them, you can actually buy your own plant and sell it to them.
That's right. They have a cooperative program where you can sell them some tea leaves. Or you can buy some plants and grow your own tea. And until we see you again,
make sure to make time for tea and a good book.